Friends and colleagues, please welcome APAP CEO and President Lisa Richards-Toney.
Good evening. Thank you. I am filled with gratitude to look around this homecoming of APAP, NYC, all the familiar faces and those who are new as well. I am grateful to be here with all of you, and I welcome you. As your membership organization, we take pride in hosting the largest presenting, booking, and touring industry conference in North America. Yeah. Aimed at ensuring that performing arts professionals working to bring live performances to communities and audiences across North America and beyond have the resources and networks to do their jobs well and to fulfill their passions for supporting artists and art making. Tonight marks the kickoff for the days ahead. Countless meetings and expo booths or over a shared meal, inspiring plenaries. The Seth Godin will be here. Yeah. Timely topical sessions from audience evolutions to arts and health to real on-the-ground advocacy. These are all made all the more special by solid handshakes and warm-hearted hugs that are hallmark to APAP. In our tradition, we begin by first recognizing the land on which we gather. We pay respect to the Lenape people and other indigenous communities whose unceded land we meet, and as well as the enslaved Africans who also stewarded and sprouted growth on this land. Today and always, we express appreciation for the pervasive strength of those who carry forth their legacies. Speaking of carrying, what a load we have carried this year, right? And yes, we have all been exhausted. It's okay to say it, we've been exhausted. But there is hope, always. And it is my hope that this conference will enliven and fortify us to all step boldly into 2025. Welcome to all of you. Let's get started. It is my deep honor to welcome to the stage the Commissioner of the New York City Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment, Pat Kaufman.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, they took my ID away and I feel like, who am I? I don't know. Anyway, it's so wonderful to be back here again. I loved last year's APAP conference. It was just wonderful to get to speak to all of you who do this year in and year out. So welcome to APAP's opening plenary. I'm Pat Sweeney-Kaufman. I am so lucky because I have the best job in the city. I get to be the Commissioner of the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment. And what do we do at Media Entertainment, MOEM? We support the media and entertainment industries because that's what makes us, New York, the creative capital of the world. Yeah. I think when my team wrote that line, they were being more modest and thinking I was saying, creative capital of New York. Well, no, we're the creative capital of the world. So it's wonderful to be here with all of you and able to say that. When the New York City's creative industry thrives, New York City thrives. And I'm here to let you know that culture and performing arts are integral to our city's very DNA. And our administration is always looking for innovative ways to support these vital industries. And a big part of that is to support APAP. APAP is a brand name that represents the best in class performances, convenings, conferences, and panels. And that's all part of what makes Jan Arts NYC so great. And here we are. I think we're in the 12th year, and that is pretty darn exciting. The goal for us is to convey from the rooftops and to a global audience that New York City is where you want to be in January. If you really want to be in Florida, just keep that to yourself. Whether you're an artist, a professional, a fan of theater, music, and live performance, this is where you want to be. Why? Because January is APAP Conference Month. And the Jan Arts NYC, which we are celebrating, would not be possible without the thousands of creatives that are here and going to be here through the weekend, the producers, the presenters, the educators, and the audience that come together every year. So there'll be more to come all through the weekend from Jan Arts and its 11 partners, and actually throughout the month. A full schedule of all the activities that you may want to drop in on or be a part of can be found at janartsnyc.org. But there's more than just Jan Arts that we at the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment do to support theater and live performances. 2025 marks the 400th anniversary of the city of New York. So happy birthday, New York City. The city's administration is committed to including culture throughout this year-long celebration. And there's a website that's listing all the year's cultural events, and you are invited to enter your events on the calendar as part of Founded in New York City campaign. In addition to that, in 2025, our office will continue to support live performances through our workforce development programs like the NY Stagecraft Boot Camp that we do in partnership with the Roundabout Theater, through our building equity, through the Broadway Music Equity Project, through Real Abilities Film Festival, and Seats on a Spectrum, a new program. And our most recent creations are what we're doing to support these industries and to support you is something that's being called New York City Create in Place. It's a pilot program that compiles important resources to support the city's creative community all in one place. nyc.gov/creative-in-place is a place to go find out more. And finally, a huge, huge thank you to Lisa Richards-Tony for her work for APAP. Thank you for being such a vital member of what you do here, and thank you for being a vital member of our Theater and Live Performance Council that we just created last year, and which is chaired by the fabulous Coco Killingsworth and Ken Sunshine. He's fabulous too. So finally, let me just say that this is a council that's laser focused on the biggest issues that are facing theater and live performance community now, like real estate, like accessibility, like how public and private partnerships can solve big problems. And of course, I can't leave, which I am about to do, without saying thank you and congratulations to Jenny Thomas and her entire APAP team. Absolutely. And thank you for the 12-year partnership of Jan Arts NYC. And thank you for tonight's incredible events. And finally, I must say a big thank you to my team, our team at MOME, Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment, led by Carla Hoke Miller. Yes, big round for her, for all the work that she and her team do to support live performance in this city. And thanks for letting me get up here and hug these microphones and have your attention. Have a great conference.
Thank you, Commissioner Kaufman. Audience views support of APAP means the world to us, and so does the support of all of our sponsors and funders who are supporting the field by supporting APAP and this gathering. Thank you. Thank you. It is my pleasure, my real pleasure, to introduce our conference co-chairs, Sarah Haag, Sarah Saltwick, Laura Sweet, Mark Wilson, and Chisa Yamaguchi. Welcome them to the stage.
Greeting esteemed colleagues, visionaries of the performing arts field, and welcome to APAP NYC 2025. It is with joy and gratitude that we welcome you today. I'm Sarah Saltwick, one of the co-directors at Holden and Arts Associates and one of your 5 co-chairs. I'm honored to be with all of you today and to embark on this 5-day journey of discovery, connection, and commerce. Whether it is your first APAP or your 30th, this gathering is richer because of your presence. We are so glad you are here. Each of us brings our unique perspective, experience, and questions. But it's not just that. Each of us also represents so many people who aren't in this room. The audiences that fill your theaters. The audiences you are trying to reach and connect with. The artists on your roster, some who may showcase these next few days, and others who may be an ocean away. The people in our personal lives who we work to support and who may really be missing us this week. Those folks are here too. You've carried them with you through those doors. Keep them with you. This is not work we do alone.
I'm Laura Sweet. I'm VP COO for Des Moines Performing Arts and another proud conference co-chair. This beloved APAP conference is, for most of us frequent flyers, a time to reconnect with colleagues and friends. It's also a chance for all of us to step outside our daily roles in the communities we serve. Perhaps most importantly, it's a time we can commit to getting outside our comfort zones, expand and experiment with attending a showcase for an artist you aren't familiar with, consider participation in a discussion session that challenges or expands your knowledge about a part of our amazing industry. It's really, truly why we're here. Introduce yourself to someone you don't know. Be open, be thoughtful, be generous. We're thrilled to offer professional development sessions that we believe will lead to critical conversations this week and into the future. We have sessions on advocacy and building skills for tough conversations, building conversations, partnerships, and surviving in a deeply divided political environment. We have sessions on understanding changes and trends in audience, including recent data, research, and successful strategies. Speaking of strategy, our plenary tomorrow with entrepreneur and writer Seth Godin will offer new perspectives and tools on approaching every aspect of our work more strategically. We have industry leaders sharing new initiatives in arts and healthcare, organizational well-being, and immersive programming. We have sessions focused on workplace, including succession planning, shared leadership models, and building a sustainable career as an independent artist. We hope these sessions will give you all lots to talk about, both during and after conference, and certainly with each other. So attend lots of sessions, exchange information, and keep the conversations going.
My name is Sarah Haig. I'm a self-represented artist from Indiana, attending my 4th APAP conference. As co-chair, I'm proud to represent those of us who are newer to conferencing, and if you're new here, a special welcome to you. The core of APAP NYC are its 4 pillars: community, commerce, learning, and discovery. This community is like no other. When we gather in person, we find camaraderie and support among those who are on similar journeys. I know I have. Here you can find your people and build relationships, which are the heart and soul of this APAP community. Relationships are the strength of our community, and commerce is built on relationships, whether conducted in the Expo Commons, showcases, or discussions over good food and drink. We come here to support, develop, and participate in the business of art. Through networking and negotiating, we drive the industry forward. Here, commerce is rooted in long-term connections, not one-time transactions. So we encourage you to extend yourself and build new connections in our time together. Discover new artists, allies, partners, and mentors who share the same passions and motivations that resonate with each of us and the communities we represent.
Hello, I'm Chisa Yamaguchi, Senior Manager and Producer with Sozo. It's so good to be with you. This is a challenging time for so many of us in so many ways, and it is particularly heartening to be together and to feel the strength of our interconnected performing arts world. We represent every aspect of the field and every kind of performing art, every discipline, aesthetic, business model. And I want to remind you that there are many ways to APAP, and they are all valuable. As a proud Angelino affected by the devastation in Los Angeles, I know how heavy this moment is. Many of us here, whether speakers, attendees, or those unable to join, are carrying the weight of these unspeakable losses. For those who are present, and for however long you can be, I know that your heart, as mine, is still with the people and communities you love who are navigating too much right now. At APAP, we deeply value collective care for ourselves, our colleagues, and our communities. I encourage you to prioritize what you need during this time, whether that's space to reflect, moments of connection, or just room to breathe. To support you, we've created spaces and resources with care in mind, from sessions on well-being to our accessibility team, quiet rooms, and nourishing touches like morning coffee service. As we gather for community learning and discovery, let's also hold space for healing. Please take exceptional care of yourself, your full self, while we're here together.
Hi, I'm Mark Wilson, Executive Director of Zona Arts Center at Lehigh University. We want to share our heartfelt gratitude for those whose unwavering commitment and dedication to our field make this gathering possible. A special thank you to the 2025 Conference Committee for offering their expertise and talents to make this conference possible. We can share them. Thanks to the APAP staff and board members and to our volunteers, sponsors, and exhibitors. Your support fuels possibility and enriches this shared experience. Let's take a moment to offer a resounding round of applause for everyone who has generously shared their time and resources to shape the vision and spirit of APAP NYC 2025. Our field faces challenges, some familiar, some newly emerging. But in this room, we see a powerful and diverse community. With over 3,000 attendees, it's no surprise that we don't agree on everything, and that's okay. What unites us is our shared belief that the performing arts matter. We know the value of gathering together, working together, planning together, and dreaming together about what's possible in our field. This week, we hope you will find inspiration, connection, and rejuvenation for the path ahead. We are grateful for your presence, for your passion, and for your belief in the power of the arts. Welcome to APAP NYC 2025.
Please welcome back to the stage APAP President and CEO Lisa Richards-Toney.
You see, we've got some amazing conference chairs, and they are strong. Did you hear that voice? All right now. You may be looking for a gig there. So, before we go any further, let's take a moment for our opening night sponsor, Audience View. I'd like you to meet her. Please welcome to the stage Vice President of Consumer Brands, Rosemary Marjorie. Rosemary.
Thank you, Lisa. I tried to save a tree, so I didn't print this out, so I'm going to have to look at my phone. But first, I want to acknowledge the devastation that's happening right now in Los Angeles. At least one theater I know has been completely destroyed, the Palisades Theater. So my thoughts go out to everybody. Every time I open my phone, another person I know has lost their home. My thoughts go out to everybody who's lost something, whether it's a home, belongings, or memories. It's going to be very hard to recover. At times, it feels like the world around us is too much to bear. There's nowhere to turn. There's so many things, this catastrophe being just one. Young people are growing up in a digital world. More people are working from home. All of these things can make human interaction seem so distant, and the thought of leaving home intimidating. And this is where the arts play such a vital role, more important than ever before. It's a way to connect with others, enjoy a shared experience. It's a way to voice your thoughts and give life to your emotions in ways that are real and alive and cannot be replicated online. It's a safe space where we can find truth and not be censored or silenced. At Audience View, I'm encouraged to hear from so many of our clients that they recognize the need to evolve their organizations to welcome new audiences and present content that resonates today while protecting what remains sacred. I'm encouraged to know that supporters, donors, and board members understand the importance of the arts and the place that their organizations play in their communities. The creativity that you will experience in these coming days of APAP is evidence that the most authentic, best works come from the people right here at this conference. People who give it everything they've got to give us something to think about, something to relate to, and something to feel. This morning I attended a press event for the show Redwood, which is coming to Broadway, starring Idina Menzel. Her character leaves it all behind to run away to the Redwood Forest, where she reconnects with the world around her and finds healing. We, the audience, feel immersed in this experience, and if you ever wondered if your presence at a show matters, this is an example of where it not only matters, but is vital. We are literally part of the set, and the people on stage need us as much as we need them. You don't get this at the movies or on your couch. Theater gives us a singular and important experience, and one that brings us together at a time when we need this more than ever. So thank you for letting me say a few words, and have a wonderful conference.
Thank you to Ms. Majori. Wonderful to have you here. Okay, well, here we are. Again, good evening, friends. Welcome. I think I said it earlier that 2024 was a lot. I'll say it again, 2024 was a lot. That's an understatement, right? We've been through the ringer as an industry, a country, as citizens of the world. We faced a looming recession, wars between our international neighbors, the 47th presidential election, terrorist attacks, a mournful goodbye to our 39th president, natural disasters of existential scale, and now in 2025, the unrelenting firestorms impacting hundreds of thousands. To our APAP colleagues who had to cancel plans to be here because of the devastation in Southern California, our hearts are with you. And we are grateful to all of you who are able to be here. Elders have reminded me that as hard as this time may feel, they'll say, it's not as hard as. Well, you can fill in a lot of blanks, right? What's the use of leveling oppression? Elder wisdom, though, also asserts that if a lesson isn't learned in one lifetime, it returns until it's learned or until we surrender. Well, I'd rather learn because we have so much more to do, and together we have to do it. After 68 years and still going strong, we, APAP, represent that which is greater than the sum of our individual selves, and that is our strength. Well, what more do we have to learn? What's our destination? And what's the path to get there? Those are the questions I'm asking. To arrive, it will require new provocations and new modes of operating in the world. It will also require being open to different ideas, welcoming new contributors and unexpected messengers, embracing our evolving technology, and exploring untested landscapes. Whether you're here to seed new possibilities or seal the deal for the booking season, and given the last year, my sense is that we all need a bit of both. And we also need something more baseline, to feel listened to, understood, and to know that we are respected. Thereby opening us up to nurture trust in one another, affording us the privilege to at times agree to disagree. And my mother used to say that all the time, I agree to disagree with you. And without pressure to simply just agree. At the end of the day, this collective body requires a baseline built on trust. We are supportive colleagues. We are true partners. And for those who are lucky enough, lifelong friends. Here, we share the bond of our field. Here at APAP, this space is for all of us. I get that the world is more complex than some would have us believe, but still, I invite you to take a breath and trust that we got this. Okay, so what is it there to get, and what's our opportunity? For some, the future resonates purposefully and with excitement. And for others, there's a real trepidation of disquieting vulnerability. Is there a middle ground? How can we actively transform that which no longer serves all of us to create that which is reasonable to share between us all? On what issues can we strategically align to elevate our cause and with whom? Who will we approach? Which issues will we address immediately, and which will require a long game strategy? Though these are not new questions and not new challenges, for me, what is new is that for the first time in my working lifetime, our sector's survival, our sustainability feels so at stake. Resilience in these times means leaning into all the conversations, all of them. It is listening both to like-minded individuals and those who offer dissent. It's a quest for shared ground, really. It's what we already do in the performing arts. Let's take, for example, our day-to-day experience with audiences. For some performances, it's easy. The audiences like it, and so we love it, right? And then there are others where the audiences they don't like it. And we have to accept it, but either way, we want their engagement, right? We do this all the time. We invite and we welcome populations from all walks of life into our spaces to be inspired by the worlds that art makers create. No matter the opinion or point of view, we make it our business to seek to understand and to seek to be understood. When we do this well, we excel. Our success stems from a tenacity to bridge humanity in order to build our community. So, take comfort. Take comfort in knowing that the rubrics for the strategy are all right here in this room. We just have to remember that our people are not a monolith, and neither are our solutions. And this is not to be feared, but to be embraced. As I close, I'm reminded that we will face new unknowns with this new administration. We know our impact on the communities we serve, and it is imperative for all of us to take action to champion our cause. We cannot sit back. And on January 20th, I hope you will also remember the celebrated birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., an inspiring leader for all Americans and the world. Reflecting on all that we face, ask yourself this: what would Martin do? Like each of us, he'd most certainly get to work. Again, we have to engage. We cannot sit back. This convening gives us the information, the connections needed to see that we have the answers within ourselves. Each person in this room represents hundreds and thousands of people, and in ourselves, we have the ability to fight and to be resilient. If we are living fully with and alongside one another, immersed in community, imagine what we might be able to leverage. We can advocate for what we are passionate about, and we are all passionate about the performing arts. We share that in common, and there is strength in our shared passion. For over 2 decades, Michael Tara Garver has been a leading creative and strategic producer across the immersive entertainment field, while centering artists, audiences, and cultural change. As the founder of the groundbreaking immersive entertainment studio, Culture House Immersive, she spearheaded their first incubator of 20 new immersive, creative, and commercially viable projects in partnership with independent producers, artists, and art centers. Michael has been at the forefront of immersive's work as the director of immersive experience of Disney's Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser in Orlando, creative director for the band Great Caesar at South by Southwest, a lead creative consultant for Walt Disney Imagineering, and the creative force behind the first ever immersive commissions from the Kennedy Center, the Goodman Theatre, the United Nations, National Theatre of Scotland, and many more. We're in for a treat. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Michael Tara Garver.
Well, hello. Hi. I think I got a chance to sit backstage and hear where you are from the point of view of those who have planned this week. And I'm so grateful to be here and to think about how we could together imagine a shared future. So my name, as it was said, is Michael Tara Garver. Hello. Hi. Yes. Yes, hello. We're talking about immersive, so we're all here together, right? So when we talk about immersive, I would imagine that a good number of you are like, oh yeah, we can't do that, or oh yeah, I don't do that, or that's scary, or I should do that, but I can't do that. What is immersive? When I talk about immersive, and what I've spent my life doing is thinking about immersive involvement. So I'm interested in how we come together, how we, in fact, human together. So to be clear, this is how we imagine a shared future, but really the secret is that this talk is how we're going to human together, because all of the calls to action that I heard before I came on stage are undeniably that we are in a moment, right? It's January 10th, I flew here from Los Angeles, and we are in a moment. We are in a personal moment, our audiences are in a moment, our culture is in a moment, our communities are in a moment. I just want for a second for you to acknowledge we are in a moment. And like Lisa said, there have been many unprecedented moments. And I'll be honest, I'm tired of saying this is unprecedented. I mean, it's unprecedented. Okay, but it's not if everything's unprecedented. It doesn't work that way, right? So really why we all first went to the theater, in my opinion, was this moment here, right? I'm up here, you're there, you're in the darkness. And in these moments, you at some point, think for a second of the moment you first sat in the darkness and you looked at the stage or you heard a concert and it made you realize that you were a part of being human. Just for a second, think about it. What was that theatrical production? See, I can't speak. What was that theatrical production? What was that instrument? What was that moment? When you were reflecting what it is to be human, when you were feeling human. And at that time, in the past, it was important and enough for us to sit in the dark and see things on the stage that reflected what it was to be human. But the truth is now, we sit in the dark a lot, right? We have all of these experiences. Now, I've invited some friends here. David, I think, is over there.
Hi. Hi.
Okay.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, David is mic'd. This is my friend David. Yes. Hi. Now, David, he's also in the dark with you because we're keeping it safe to begin, right? Now, David, what is something in the last 6 months or so that you've watched in the dark from your home that has reflected back to you what it is to be human?
I watched Conclave.
What was it?
Conclave. I didn't know Catholicism was so exhilarating.
Exactly.
And they're just like us.
Yeah, they're just like us.
Cardinals.
Right? Now, my other friend, Bree, you're over there somewhere. Bree, yes. Okay, music, some sort of music event that you've experienced through your screen, and I'm doing this because that means the phone, international sign.
That's what I do, yeah.
That you've had in a shared music experience, you've seen what it is to be human.
Doichi's Tiny Desk performance.
Yes.
And everybody's responses to how incredible.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Those are incredible moments. Now we're gonna do this with them. You're gonna take out your hands. All you gotta do is do this. I'm not gonna make you dance. I'm not gonna make you do anything. So I'm going to ask this question. Everybody, I want you to put up your fingers for the number of in the last 6 months, TV or film, things that you've experienced that have changed or reflected back to you what it is to be human. How many? Great, I'm gonna do another one. Music that has Beyonce Bowl, not kidding, right? So what are those things? that while you were home alone or with your phone or on the train or in a car reflected, yes, that have reflected back to you a different experience of what it is to be human. Now, what about a podcast or a talk someone gave, right? So here's the truth. Look around, if you want to, or don't. Our hands are full. Your audience's hands are full with what it is to be human. They are oversaturated with what it is to be human. And so the truth is actually that in this moment, what we need is not more of me in the light and you in the dark of what it is to be human. We actually need to figure out how we human together. That's what this moment is about. That's what we can do unlike any other form. For a second, just think about it, right? Kierna and I talk about this all the time. I'm going to now do this thing. I promise I'm not going to make anything scary happen. Charles, this is Charles. Okay, thank you. So again, here I am. And the thing is, when I say how we human together, what I really, one of my colleagues said to me recently, Michael, you know, nobody knows what you mean when you say humaning. Which is why I have amazing colleagues who tell me that, right? And what I mean when I say humaning is that we can make mistakes. And I can accept your mistakes. What we mean when I'm humaning, Kierna, we talk about this, my other friend, Kierna, is here. Kierna,
Yeah,
what are other humanings?
Having too much to say, that's me, or not knowing what to say at all. She's laughing because she knows it's true.
Yeah, exactly. Other things? What are other humanings? Anything?
Saying sorry.
Saying sorry. Yes, apologizing. And also, other humanings are, is that for me? She just asked a question. Because I'll be honest, that's my friend John. We've known each other for 30 years, so he just helped, right? He knows me, he trusts me. So part of humaning is also feeling safe enough to take a risk. So when we sit in the dark and there's something on the stage in the light, we feel safe enough, hit my mic, to heal something, to feel something, to reflect something. But what and how do we start creating spaces in the light where we can feel that safe? So now I'm going to do this crazy thing in a room of performing arts centers. I am going to ask you to take 10 seconds, and I want you to think about a place, a moment, where you feel human in that way. And I want you, and I mean this 10 seconds, to find that image on your phone. 10 seconds. Where is a moment? Is it a person? Is it a sports game? Is it a concert? And when you find it, I want you to hold your phone up. So my question is, a moment where you feel you can be that kind of humaning. You can make mistakes. Excuse me, Leo. You can make mistakes. You can, when you see it, lift up your phone. And if you don't want to open your phone, that's fine. You can just think about it and raise your hand. So when you think of a place where you can human, raise your hand. Where is that moment? Where is that place? Where is it for you? We all have that. Is it a person? I know I recently went and saw Lawrence, the band, at Radio City Music Hall, and I gotta tell you, I felt like I could human, right? I'm waiting. You all I know have been there, and I'm gonna count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Now people are looking at me, they're like, oh, she's looking at me, I've gotta do it. I'm not forcing you, I'm just saying 5, 4. Now let's look around the room for a second. This is a room filled with people who know what it feels like. We know what it feels like. You can put down your phones now, thank you so much. Thank you for playing. But also, and I'm thinking of those of you in the back who I'm not here, I'm not next to you. Hello, thank you for letting me through. I'm not next to you, so for those who are right here, who are worried about being good students, like many of us are, they were scary. It's scary that you might human wrong. Now, David and I were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
Yes. David and Bree and Kierna, when we were prepping for this today, I was like, and then we don't know how many people will be in the room. No. And we don't know exactly how this will go. And so, you know, it can feel scary. It feels scary, right, David? How scary does it feel?
It feels scary. I've never been to a convention before.
Yes.
You know, and the last time I was in a ballroom, it was a wedding. So I don't know how to be And I felt nervous sitting here the whole time and talking to the folks around me and feeling a little bit like an imposter.
I feel like the mic adds a little bit.
Right, exactly.
I'm wondering if I say something, is everybody going to laugh? Are they going to understand where I'm coming from? I think that adds a certain level of fear.
Yeah, and will it feel impressive enough too? Like, will I make the right impression, I think?
Yeah, or sound smart. I should have said the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
To be honest, yeah.
That's really what that's moved me.
And so my question is, so we just said imposter, will I feel smart? Will I do it wrong? I'm on mic, I'm in the center. Who of you are leaders in this room? Raise your hand. Who of you stands on a stage in this room? Yes. Who of you has to stand in front of people and present big ideas to them? You can put your hands down now, thank you. The truth is, right, it's scary. I know when I stand up there what my role is. I know how to human up there when you're here. You know what your role is. And the other thing that's true is when I come out here, it's also scary for most people because they're worried I'm going to ask them to do something and they're not going to know how. And this is the trickiest part of how we human together. This is the sticky stuff. This is the hard stuff, and this is the art as well. And this is the art form that we here in this room, these organizations, that we have the opportunity to step into that no one else can. I want you to think about that for a second, because with Culture House Immersive, we do work across many industries. No one else can do this work. No one. And your communities need it because they are very good at being in the dark. But when they are in the light like this, they don't know and they are frightened they are going to do it wrong. All right, I promise, only one more real interactive moment. I promise, right? I'm trying my best to be kind and generous too. Now, I have questions. This time we're going back to the fingers, yes? And there's only up to 3. So here's my question. Are you a person who dances in the center of a party every single time? Raise your hand. One finger up. Don't raise your hand. One finger up. One finger up. I lied. One finger up. But see, because I said that, those people had their hands up, right? Okay, so one finger up. Now, second question. Are you a person who, when there's someone says, please throw out an improv prompt, you're the first person to throw it out? Or they need a magician's assistant, and you are the first person on the stage. If so, put up another finger, right? Yes, so some people have 1, some people have 2, some people have 0. Then the third question I have for you is, you are going to a parade, you are going to a music festival, you are going to a theme park, and you are in the first row every single time. 8th row doesn't matter to me, gotta be first row or I'm not here. Okay, now, for those of you who have 3 fingers up, I want you to raise your hand. Did you realize there would be this many instructions? For those of you who have 3 fingers up, I want you to raise, let's just say, because there's a lot of you, I think, raise both hands. If you've got 3 fingers up, raise both hands. If you have 2 fingers up, raise 1 hand. Okay. If you have 1 finger up, put your hands on the table. And if you have 0 fingers up, cross your arms. Okay, we can put down our arms now. Here's the truth, y'all. I admire those of you with 2 hands up, with 1 hand up, with your hands on the table. My secret as a person who has made my entire career making immersive experiences with thousands upon thousands of people who come together is I have my arms crossed. I am a person who is scared of humaning together as much as you. I promise this is not a performance. It's really true. I am a person who is scared of not knowing when I don't have a job or a role. My colleagues who work with me can tell you that. I get very anxious if I don't know what I'm in charge of. And I would argue that the majority of your audience has their arms crossed. And the majority of your potential audience, your new audiences, which we like to talk about a lot, right? Your new audiences, the reason they're not showing up is because their arms are crossed and they don't think this is for them. They think it's for these people. And when you start to say, hey, now we're doing immersive experiences, they're going to say, great, that's for these people, not for me. So the truth is not just that we now need to start doing events and say, everyone, let's human together. We all human differently. So we have to start creating the craft, the art form, the immersive involvement art form that creates space for all of us to participate differently. Because the truth is, as we're more comfortable in the dark, right? And the truth is that as we feel more comfortable in the dark, we've gotten less practice, a lot less practice at how to human differently. So normally, right, we're gonna all do this together. I would be up there on the stage, theoretically, if I weren't me. I'd be up there on the stage and I'd be talking to you and we'd all be sitting here together, looking in that direction. And there would be one message and one idea. But the truth is, looking around when you guys raised up your phone, you don't need me up there. You don't need me to reflect back to you what it is to human. It's actually, this is the place we have to sit. The discomfort of, I don't quite know where to look, and I don't quite know what to do, and I don't know what my choice is supposed to be. And now, for the artists in the room, for the programmers in the room, the trick is how we start to build a craft from this space. There is a craft to it, and if you don't do that craft, this can feel very dangerous, I promise. Because what we have to start to figure out is how we can all human differently together. How this, it turns out, didn't hurt me when I did this. Did it? Was anybody offended by people raising two arms in the sky? Anyone? Was anyone offended that in this room the majority of us did this? Something just made noise. Was anyone offended by that? Because I wasn't. It didn't impact me. You were? Who was? No? It didn't impact me, right? But what it did is it showed me a way that I could participate differently. So here is the offering that I am going to share with you. You are here over these next couple of days. And you have the opportunity in this space, which is, as I've heard it, there are all of these different desires and wants and needs that you all have, right? Who in this room has a desire and a want and a need coming to this conference? Please raise your hand. And the beauty is I did that while we're in the dark. Because to admit that you have desires and wants and needs is really scary. Right, some of you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You didn't sign up for it. I know. Okay, pretend we can't see them, right? But the truth is this weekend, I'm going to offer you something that you can do that maybe shifts the way you relate. We were offered an invitation of this weekend is important for us to rely on each other. So now, when you see someone with their arms crossed, even if maybe they were in this room, maybe they weren't, you just give them a glance and look them in the eye. That's it. And just smile and think of the place where you human, the moment where you feel you can human. And if they were in this room, maybe they'll do the same thing. And if they were a person who did this, and you see someone across the room and they're doing this, or they're waving at you, you can wave and walk over to them and say, let me show you what's on my screen. This is this place, this moment. And so I want for a second for us to raise those screens or our hands one more time. And in the dark, I just want you to look around. And know that everyone in this space, let's get them, we can do it. Guys, truly, I know you can. The truth is here that the question I want you to ask as you're walking around this weekend when you're talking to someone is, how are you humaning? How do you human together? I want you to show a screen. I want you to reflect, and I invite you to use this to model and think about what you're bringing home to your audiences and how we can do this as a community. Thank you so much for letting me be here with you, for inviting me to be here with you. I will say to you, this, as getting on a plane and flying across the country, felt like a true purpose. Because I believe in this room that although we are in the darkness right now, that as we begin to practice what it is to be in the light together, we will build the spaces where we human together in a new way. I thank you so much. Thank you to APAP. That's it.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much for raising up the importance of embracing new and different ways to be human, to be alive together. We are not dead, folks. To engage our audiences and artists, we can still absolutely appreciate a really good show with an old-fashioned audience watching quietly in the dark. There's nothing wrong with that. But our future is begging us, wheeling us to think of audiences as participants, not spectators, but active participants joining in, and like all of us, stepping up. We just experienced one way to do that. Now we are about to encounter a totally different way to be engaged, to be alive, to be together. And this will be from an artist who has explored almost every way that art can bring us together through her career, marked by innovation, adaptation, we need that, vision, always vision, and will not forget brilliance. I could go on and on for days sharing this artist's accomplishments, but you will hear more of those on Monday when we present her with the Award of Merit for her extraordinary life and her work. And now it is my privilege to bring to the stage the one, the only, Nona Hendryx.
We come, we go. We come, we go. We come, we go. We come, we go. Do we seek what we hope to find? In a small blue line in the sea of time, brave new worlds come and go. They keep repeating, keep repeating, keep repeating, on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Do we see what we hope to find in this brave new world, in the sea of time? We come, we go, we come, we go, we come, we go, we come, we go. Universal truth is all we seek to find. Memories and ashes are all we leave behind. Are we only dust? Are we only dust? Are we only dust? Universal love is all we seek to find. Universal love stars. We are kings. We have traveled across the universe to make Earth our home. We are only dust. We are only dust. Are we only dust? Are we only dust? So in which God do you trust? We're only dust. So true. If you're only dust, we seek to find. If we're only dust, and ashes are the all we leave behind. Are the only what we leave Universal truth is all we seek to find. From a small new light in the sea of time. Are we only dust? Are we only dust? Are we only dust? And in which God do you trust? If we're only dust, 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 if we're only dust.
Thank you. Thank you. That is a song from the cyborical experience in VR, and that is my crown performance inside the VR experience. If you came to Lincoln Center this June, you would have been able to go through the full experience and then have my avatar cyborical perform for you. Universal truth. I'd like to now tell you a little bit more about that particular opportunity that I was commissioned to bring to Lincoln Center. And if you can start the video, I can begin to share with everybody here a part of the process. And I was lucky enough to have amazing collaborators to present these 3 installations. I have to thank, of course, Jordana Lee from Lincoln Center, Shanta Thake from Lincoln Center, and the faithful and always present Muntong from Lincoln Center, helping to bring this vision forward. The video, I don't think is playing yet, so I will just, here it is. This is Dream Machine. and I'm going to sit down.
The Dream Machine is a modular, immersive experience that will be at Lincoln Center in June 2024. It is an AI, AR, VR experiences in which you could either enjoy all three or you can enjoy one at a time. It will be there for about 18 days starting in June 2024. The Dream Machine is a lot of different dreams that happen and almost sort of like being in parallel worlds. And that's kind of what the Dream Machine is about. Those are the collaborators: George Cretton, Vernon Reason Living Color, Skins with Skunk Nancy, Laurie Anderson, Nicolene Thomas, Luffy, working with students from Berklee College of Music, the Willie Mae Rock Camp, Willie Mae Future Sound, working with LaFrey, Psy, and the young people there to bring them into the conversation of technology and music and art. In a dream, you can pass through many worlds many times. Cyborgable is the culmination of all those things I shared with you. This desire to be cyborg and being able to deliver messages. So that's the cyber oracle, and so cyborgable. And that's my avatar. That's my in the digital world, in the VR world. That's who I am. Welcome to the Dream Machine.
That's the Dream Machine. I'll tell you. So there were 3 parts to the installation. Oh, Shanta. You're here already.
Yeah, I thought you were going to costume change, but you know.
Yes, I was going to costume change.
We're your
All right.
I'm great.
Good.
Well, I'm happy to be here with you, Nona.
Yes. So we will explain as we talk, rather than my going through an explanation, then going through it again. How's that?
That sounds
yes?
great.
Great.
That sounds great. So it's such an honor to be here. I always love spending time with Nona. And as I'm sure, and I think you can understand why, we've heard about humaning together, but this is superhumaning together. When we're in Nona's presence, you get a sense of many things that you never thought were possible, worlds you could not have imagined, places you could not think of going, and first and foremost, sitting next to Nona Hendryx, which is something I personally never thought I would do. And I've had the pleasure of doing it for about 20 years now.
Yes, a long time.
Yeah, a long
yes.
time.
Starting with the pub.
Starting with Joe's Pub.
Yes.
And in that relationship, you know, I'll just say a little bit. We started a Vanguard residency at Joe's Pub because of Lincoln Center, because of Nona Hendryx. We were thinking, I know, we were thinking about how do we honor artists at all stages of their careers. And we had an emerging artist group. We had this group of artists that we were commissioning to create new works. And then we thought of these undersung heroes of American popular culture who were not only content to do their own work, but were constantly creating communities and bringing people into their midst. And so we created the Vanguard residency. And part of that residency was to, of course, celebrate Nona, but also for her to be able to bring in other parts of her life. And so we said, do you want to maybe curate a couple shows? Can you imagine? You know, we don't want to burden you, don't want to take up too much time.
Did you actually say that?
I think we might have said that. And she said, sure, I'll curate monthly, a show every month. And they were gigantic. There was a new commission. It was just this nonstop fountain of incredible creativity. So, and then the same thing happened. Jordana began the conversation around what do you want to do at Lincoln Center and how do we bring all of your worlds together, this technology that you're so invested in bringing to so many of us, and your curation and your, of course, incredible music career. And what we ended up doing was, I mean, you've seen part of it. That was really,
It was stressful.
It was stressful.
It was stressful, I have to say.
It was a lot. It was a lot. It was AR, VR, tours around campus with incredible sculptures. AI. Nick Cave sculptures brought to life on the Lincoln Center campus. You know, Carrie Mae Weems artwork popping out of fountains. I mean, really remarkable. So I want to talk just briefly, and we'll hopefully start to uncover some of the rest of the work, but how do you think of yourself as a curator when you do this work? Would you add that as one of your descriptors of who you are in the world?
I think of myself as a collaborator, more so than a curator, that I was born out of collaboration, being a part of a girl group.
Yeah.
And so it kind of stuck. And we were a girl group for so long that it seemed very natural for me to continue working with people and collaborating and finding ways that what I was thinking about, dreaming about, creating, that they had their version and how we could make something together. And it's, you know, I love solo work, but it can get lonely.
Yeah. And well, your work is...
So the humaning of it is really important.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
incredible. And some of the collaborators, you touch on it in the video, but just to say them again, Micheline Thomas,
Yes.
Laurie Anderson, George
Clinton. Skin from Skunk Anansie. If you don't know who she is, you should find out who she is. She's an amazing metal, punk, black female rocker who's internationally just incredibly successful. Less so in America, but I'm always championing her because she's amazing. And Bina 48, the AI, wanted a body, so we gave Bina 48 a body, and she wanted to make music. So I collaborated with Bina 48 to write a piece that Bina 48 called Symphony of the Soul, because Bina 48 would like a soul at some point. And so that was really the experience of working, collaborating with all these artists, specifically with George Clinton. It's a really interesting collaboration. If you don't know, do you know who George Clinton is? Okay, yeah, right. So
Not, you have to leave right now. Get out.
yes, collaborating with artists to make these worlds that they wanted to have. It wasn't us making worlds going, this is how you could be what your digital twin or your other could be in the digital world. It was like, what do you imagine it being? And George wanted his to be inspired by the Dogon tribe in Africa because it's a part of the P-Funk world and belief. Skin wanted her space to be about Brixton and where she grew up as a child. So we take you into Brixton and you're roaming the streets of Brixton, listening to Skin's music. She wanted to have her grandmother's Aki tree put on the stage in Brixton, so you can do that in VR. And these are it's really experiences that take you through in the Forest of the Ancestors, which is a forest of trees of influences. You go through the artist's influences. You begin to see who influenced them. And this is all them sharing the information about what's important to them in their lives and the things that they accomplished. At the top of the tree are their accomplishments. And then you travel to their other space, and then you end up in a concert that they're performing or the avatar's performing at the end of the 30-minute experience. So I'm always excited when I go in myself just to revisit and engage with them.
Yeah.
So collaboration.
I think one of the things that we talked about in the worlds of VR and AR, and for those of you who are thinking about incorporating this into your own practice, into your own performing center, what was important to us at Lincoln Center was really this idea of how do we use this technology to bring us closer into a live experience, have a deeper experience. And these experiences, like Nona was saying, really brought you into the entire history of some of these artists and gave you a glimpse almost into their brain, really how George Clinton thinks. You may never come out.
Yes, there are some, as you travel through, you hear George, spouting some of his quotes and things that he thinks. And the music it's a music-driven experience, so it's all music. And you get to hear, and it's music that the artists have decided that they wanted to go with their experience. And there are sayings that, yes, in George's you get to chase a dog around, because George is very into dogs and things that he does. So you get to chase these dogs that say things to you as you go. So it's a fun experience. There's a gamification component to it, because in the labyrinth you have to collect these dogs in George's experience to get to the center, and then that will take you into the performance in the crown. Skin was very into muscle cars, so you're collecting muscle cars as you go through.
And you're doing this with other people. The other thing is that you're seeing these other people that are in the experience with you, you're waving at them, you're dancing with them, and it's quite a beautiful, it gives you a different kind of permission to be a part of this experience.
Well, because that's the important thing, if we're talking about humaning, it's about sharing in community and being in using these technologies to bring people closer together, bring people together, as opposed to isolate them just in a headset. They're on their own. And so this, Dream Machine is like, dreams are forever, all kinds of dreams. And that's why it's called Dream Machine. There's just multiple dreams that can be created and enjoyed.
We don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to get to some questions that I think are, well, one question that I have when we start to think about when Bina 48 and she's collecting all of this information from other humans and putting it into her sort of humanity, and what does this mean, and who are we if not our embodied selves, and what about this is exciting to you? What about this? Should we be terrified? How do we enter this conversation, and how do we bring along people who have been outside of this conversation in a way that confronts this very real fear of what this is for all of us?
I don't have all of the answers. I only have the answer of how would I explore this technology? How would I use it for me for good? Mm-hmm. How would I use it to be of service to my community or to the world, and how I can reach? I think I've shared with you that when we discovered we became aware of fire. Fire, as we know, and my thinking about California at the moment, is devastating, but it also keeps us warm. It also cooks our food. It also does all these other things that are beneficial to us, right? So is in everything in life is technology. The pencil and paper was technology. Before that, we were scratching on caves or using charcoal or different things to write, to share, to communicate. But the pencil was amazing technology, this thing, and paper. And then you move through and you go into the manufacturing to be able to feed more people by being able to have machines that can do some of the work that humans don't want to do or not capable of doing or can't do fast enough. All these things are advances in technology. People, I think, tend to think about technology in terms of the computer, not the other technologies that preceded the computer, and therefore AI. So yes, I think there's concern and should be concern, and we do need laws. We do need people who are looking out for the good of all as much as we can. But also, I think there are wonderful things that are coming out of the ability to create human lungs, for instance, that Martine Rothblatt is working with, different people are using AI to the benefit of humans, mankind or womankind, I would say. So yes, there is a certain amount of fear that comes with anything that is new, and that's usually the fear comes that it's in the hands of a bad actor, i.e. a human being.
Well, I think you have modeled for all of us this incredible, expansive imagination and curiosity about the world that has allowed you to have a career that is decades long, that I have been fortunate to share some of those decades with. But all of us have really benefited from your curiosity, and I hope that it inspires all of us to move into our worlds, our lives.
Yeah, get yourself an avatar.
Get yourself an avatar. That is the advice from Nona Hendryx.
That's my t-shirt. Get yourself an avatar.
And we are going to watch now, to close this out, we're going to watch a little bit of a video that I think is the VR experience. You won't see other people in this particular, this is just a filmed version, but you'll see it within Skin's world, and we'll all end up at the party together.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nona.
Thank you, Shanta. This is the Forest of Ancestors for Skin. That's her tree. That is a take on her grandmother's tree. And you enter from the lobby, choosing the artist that you would like to explore. And inside the tree, you'll see there's 3 levels. This is the first level. And that's a photograph of Skin's parents and family. And as you move around, you have agency to look where you want to look. And these are Skin's influences, Nina Simone. We're gonna go, this is a quick version of the experience. And that's an artist called Pauline Black, who was very influential in Skin's life. And what this also allows people to do is to discover other artists that they may not have heard of by going into Skin's memories. It's like time travel. And Grace Jones, of course, who was a big influence on Skin. And I think that is, I can't see. Oh, yeah, thank you. And you go through a tunnel and you go up to the next level. And this is the top level because that's Skin receiving an OBE from what was Prince Charles, who's now King Charles. And there are other elements. And you go through a portal and you enter into the labyrinth, and this is Skin's version of that she wanted, which is Brixton in the UK. And you begin to travel through, and this is where you collect muscle cars. That Skin has sayings that she has connected to the cars as you collect them. And there's video you can see from the time. I think it's like late 60s, 70s, I think. And as you travel through, you're on the streets of Brixton. And you have to collect these muscle cars because it'll open doors that get you to the center of the labyrinth. So you can spend time in there, wandering around, looking at different things, looking at videos, posters. And there's a muscle car that's going to be collected. And
get your flowers.
That's one of Skin's sayings. And it opens the door to take you through to another section. And somebody's going to get another car, I think, right there. Go on, get it. Get that car. Come on. Oh, come on. The car. Just looking around. Get the car. You have to collect 5 of the 10 cars to get to the center.
You know what I mean?
So I think we're just gonna go, we skip in the center, there's a video that plays, that is unlocked by collecting the 5 Muscle Cars, which is a video that Skin gave us of the first performance of her band in London. So it's a very special moment that you get to engage with. And then you go into the Crown, which is the performance venue, and Skin arrives, and she's the spike master. She's very, she's got very pointy elbows. And so everything, she wanted to be the spike master.
I rode the tide, I thought our world was one. We had a love that burnt the blinding sun. I took the blame.
So this is the song that she wanted to perform to. And you're in there with other people. You can move around. You can go up on the stage and be right underneath Skin, near her mouth, or you can go up top, which is like the balcony, and watch Skin from above, and you can engage. So that's one of what we did.
That's it. I think that's what now you get to go have a drink, everyone. Think about our collective future.
Yes. And the other thing that, while you're here, we have a poster that is an AR poster that you can go and engage with my character, my avatar, Cyborical. So I think Nia, somebody's here who will show you how to activate it.
That's awesome. Thank you. Let's give our guest a big round of applause. Shanta and Nona, thank you.
Thank you.
I just love the fact that avatars are so practical. We could all use an avatar. Thank you, Nona. What a treat. We'll see Nona again on Monday. Please make sure you are here for our award ceremony where we honor all of our members of our field, but particularly Nona. Thank you. So look at our possibilities, right? Future is bright. It is bright. And we got this. So let's do it. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for attending opening plenary. Please enjoy the reception and the 4 brilliant days to come. Thank you.